Here are 10 Valentine's Day book recommendations for you. You can either use this for yourself so that you have something in the romantic genre to read, or else you can also gift it to a friend, because these are some great books that I have read over the years. So in this video, I'm going to be collating both books that were released like many years ago, and also a couple of books that have been released recently, and you may have seen some of them which are also trending on Booktok. So even though it's been trending on Booktok, it doesn't mean I'm recommending because of that. I'm recommending it because I really liked that, and that is why I think you should also read it. Okay, so with this, let's start off with the video. So the order in which I'm going to list the books does not necessarily mean that this is a good book and this is a bad book. Something that's at number 1 is great and something that's at number 10 is not that great. That's not the case. I've just collated everything and I'm just listing it as and when it comes to my mind. So the first book that I'm recommending is called A Walk to Remember. It's written by Nicholas Sparks. Nicholas Sparks is very well known for his romance novels. You would have seen that The Notebook, in which Ryan Gosling starred, that is one of his bestsellers. So personally, I loved his book A Walk to Remember a lot more. So the plot of Walk to Remember goes like this. No spoilers, of course. So Jamie and Langdon, these are the main characters of the book. So Landon happens to be in the same college as Jamie, and he thinks that nobody actually notices Jamie. So Jamie is the kind of woman, everybody's gaze just slips by. She's someone who does not have that great of a dress sense. Nobody really looks at her. Nobody really wants to talk to her. But then it so happens that fate brings Landon and Jamie together at the homecoming dance, and then after that, Landon cannot stop himself from falling for her. But then the thing with this book is that you will have multiple heartbreaks in between, and the reason I'm giving you this disclaimer is because of the 10 books that I'm listing, a lot of them are heartbreaking, a lot of them are really good. So in case you're someone who does not want to read a book with even a single heartbreaking incident in it, so maybe you shouldn't go for this book in that case, which is why I'm mentioning this in all of my books. But this is one of the best books that I have read. I read this many years ago and I'm still in love with it, and I still can go back and read it all over again. So if you're a fan of A Fault in Our Stars by John Green, this is the kind of book for you. So please do check out this video. This particular book, I would rate it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the next one in our list is P.S. I Love You. P.S. I Love You is one of my most favorite books and I read it very long back. So the main characters in this book are Holly and Jerry. They're a husband and wife, and they used to have fights every now and then. But then it so happened that Jerry passed away due to a brain tumor, and Holly was devastated after that. And that's when Holly realizes that all those fights they had, they were so trivial that it does not matter anymore. And then she's heartbroken. But then one day she receives a package which Jerry had actually sent it to her. So before he passed away, he had made sure that this package would reach Holly. And in this package, there were different tasks and letters for Holly to do, just to ensure that she feels happy, she goes outside her comfort zone a little, and she does live her dreams and life still goes on. So this is Jerry's way of making Holly realize that life still goes on. So this is the plot of the book. No spoilers, of course, but you have to read this book. It's one of the best books ever. Again, I rate this book as well a 4.5 stars. So please do check out this book too. So let's move on to the third book now. The third one in the list is called The Magnificent Mrs. Mayhew. I'm sure I've spoken a lot about this book in my previous videos, but if you haven't watched it, this is one of my favorite books by my favorite author, Millie Johnson. So in this book, Sophie is the main character. She is married to a political star, John. But then in her marriage, she does not have a voice at all. She has to act in accordance with John because John is a public figure, right? So whatever she says or does is going to be taken into account by the public, and they're going to be publishing it in the newspapers. So she has an image to maintain. But is Sophie really in a happy relationship with John? Is she really in a happy marriage? Is the marriage really working out in both their favors? So this is what Sophie's journey is all about. There are a lot of hiccups that come along the way, And I believe that this book does not just fall under the category of romance, it also falls under the category of self love and self discovery, because Sophie discovers a lot about herself on the path to discovering if that life for her is really meant for her. Since this book is my favorite, it's a 5-star read. Okay, so I'm showing 10, but yeah, it's a 5-star read. So please do check out this book. Millie Johnson is such a wonderful author, and I really hope to meet her one day. I think she tops my, top 3 list of authors. But yes, please do check out this book as well. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth book in the list now. The fourth book in the list is a book that I read very recently. So as soon as I posted that book on my story, one of my friends actually replied on that story itself saying that, see, in this book you are going to cry a lot. And okay, I trusted his review and I went by it, and true to that, that is what happened. So this is one of the best books that I have read recently, I mean in this year 2024, and I would rate this book a 4 stars. So in this book, Rune and Poppy are the main characters. Rune moves into the house and he meets Poppy, who's his neighbor, and they fall in love at a very young age. So as the name of the book suggests, Poppy's grandmother is dying, and which is why Poppy has been handed over a jar by her grandmother saying that, the best parts of my life were the kisses that I received from your grandfather. So the same way, I want you to treasure such memories, which is why in this jar you are going to write down your 1,000 kisses, 1,000 most special kisses, and you are going to put it in this jar so that you cherish it for the rest of your life. So that is the premise of this book.
Rune and Poppy seem to have it all together until all of a sudden there is a distance that sets in between them, and soon they discover that Poppy has a secret. Will the secret keep Rune and Poppy from getting back together, or will it keep them permanently apart?
You will find that in this book, a lot of things are very thoughtful, very meaningful, and very deep too. So, here and there for this book, you will cry a little bit. Overall, it is such a great story. You should definitely pick this book. I'm sure you'll find it worth reading too. So, the same author, Tilly Cole's book, I have another one, A Wish for Us. I haven't started reading that yet. But yes, I think before the end of February, I'll definitely read it because I have a lot of Valentine's Day video ideas. And here I am sitting in Rajasthan, a little sick. So when I was in Bangalore, I was sick. I thought maybe Rajasthan, the heat will make it better. But then after I came here, in Jaipur, it is so cold. It is 12 degrees. I know 12 degrees may not be too cold for a lot of you, but for me, it is extremely cold and I'm hardly able to bear the cold here.
What?
Okay, with this, let's move on to the fifth book in the list. The fifth book in the list is called Check and Made by Ali Hazelwood. I made a separate video reviewing this entire book. This is one of my favorite reads again. It is a 4.5-star read. So Mallory Greenleaf is the lead character in this book. Mallory Greenleaf used to play chess 4 years ago, but because she believed that it caused a lot of trouble for her family and her family went through a traumatic event because of that, she stopped playing chess. She is now 18 years old. She has a mother to support who is sick, and then she also has 2 younger sisters to support. So she is working as a mechanic, but she was a chess prodigy. So it so happens that she agrees to play for her friends for one charity event because her friend persuaded her a lot. And when she plays that particular match, she wins against one of the top players in the chess industry, who is Nolan. Nobody could ever believe that a nobody in the chess world actually defeated one of the top players in the chess game. And after that, it so happens that fate decides to suck her back into chess, and she has to keep playing chess because there is a lot of money coming in, but then she also cannot tell that to her family. So will she be able to live out her passion, the life that she is very passionate about, without regrets, without breaking her family's trust? And will she also find romance in the same with the person she defeated in her first game of chess after a long break? So this is what Check and Mate is all about. You should definitely check out this book. As I said, it's a 4.5-star read. Okay, coming to number 6. Number 6 is one of my recent reads. Number 6 is called Wildfire. This is by Hannah Grace, and I read Wildfire just, I think, 1 or 2 weeks back, I guess. Yeah, and I really love this book. It is such a feel good book. I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. So, in this book, Russ and Aurora are the main characters. Russ is someone who does not have a good relationship with his dad, and he believes that his family is kind of falling apart because of that. But he does not talk to anyone about it. So one day he decides to go for a camp. And then there is Aurora. Aurora is someone who has been trying to find meaning in flings every now and then. And it so happens that she finds Russ attractive one night. So they end up sleeping together. But after that, Aurora does not believe that anybody would actually want to be with her, and she slips out of there. But fate has a way to bring them together.
They both end up stuck in the same cab for a period of 10 weeks.
And this is what the book is all about, the challenges that they face, and the love that they find. It is just so cute. I think this book is actually a very cute read. So this book, I would rate it a 4.5 stars. And in both Check-in Mate and in Wildfire, I found that lead characters had a lot of issues that they had to deal with within themselves, and I found that it was really mature of them to actually acknowledge such issues that existed within them, and also try and make amends for the same, because at the end of the day, we all are flawed, right? We're all morally grey in some way or the other, and it is best if we acknowledge it and also work on it. So this is what the book is all about, and you should definitely check this out. I'm yet to read Icebreaker, but Icebreaker and this, it's okay even if you read this first and then go back to Icebreaker. But yes, I'm also planning to read her Icebreaker and her other book that is coming out in, I think, July, I guess, this year. So that's my plan, and I really loved Hannah Grace. Yay. So number 7 on that list is The Queen of Wishful Thinking by my favorite author, Millie Johnson. So in this book, Lou is someone who inherits a fortune and decides to invest in a business of antiques. But then his wife, Charlotte, is not supportive of this idea. Nevertheless, Lou still works hard to try and achieve his dreams. He realizes that this is the time to live his dreams because he was very close to death in a heart attack that occurred previously. So not just this is happening in one line. On another side, there is Bonnie. Bonnie is someone who used to work with her dad and his friend at an antique business store.
But that was only until Bonnie's dad passes away, after which she is left with Bonnie's dad's friend's son, who sucks as a boss.
Bonnie is not happy with the job anymore, only because of the boss. But antiques is still her passion, and this is where her area of expertise lies. But then one day, she is fired from the job and she is left to look out for a new job. At the same time, Bonnie's life is kind of a mess. It's very quiet, but there is a mess brewing inside. So Bonnie's husband is not understanding, is hardly ever communicating. He's just very strict with his rules, and he has a strict schedule that even Bonnie needs to adhere to. So she is not really in a happy marriage. So in this book, Lou tries to discover his passion, at the same time trying to navigate his relationship, and on the other hand, Bonnie also tries to do the same. And so it ends up that fate brings both of them together, and she works in the same shop as Lou. So will Lou and Bonnie support each other in this quest of finding the meaning of their life together? This is what this book is all about, and I rate this book a 4.5 stars. So please do check out this book. I always recommend Millie Johnson's books, and I don't think I can ever stop recommending her book enough. So this, I think on Feb 16th or Feb 22nd, I forgot, her book called The Happiest Ever After releases. I'm yet to purchase that book. I'm going to be reading that as well within a month of its release. So stay tuned. I'll be posting a review on that as well, regardless of how it is. Okay, I'm not going to be biased just because it's Millie Johnson. Okay, so with this, let's move on to the next book. So the 8th book in this list is a 5-star read, and I read this very recently after repeatedly seeing it in every single Booktok video around the world. Like, people of different countries are just talking about this book. Yes, I'm talking about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So in this book, Evelyn, as the name suggests itself, Evelyn Hugo had 7 husbands in her life. But who was the true love of her life? Evelyn Hugo was one of the top stars in her Hollywood industry. But then people don't really understand what goes on behind her life. So this is all that Evelyn Hugo is. So Evelyn Hugo depicts her entire life and how she is a morally grey person. She doesn't claim to be a good person, but she also doesn't claim to be a bad person, because based on circumstances, even we are good people who sometimes do bad things, right? So the same way, Evelyn talks about all the ups and downs about her life. So her life has been put together in a book. Don't go around searching for Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo is a fictional character, but once you actually read that book, right, you feel that it is so real, and this is what she went through, this is what her career in Hollywood was like, and it is such a great, engaging read. I just couldn't put down this book even for a minute. I think I took about 7 hours to finish this book. I read it line by line, I read it very slowly. I had to go back and forth because of like a couple of quotes that were great. So that's what this book is all about. It's one of my 5-star reads, and I definitely recommend this book. Not all books that come on Booktok are great, but then this book is definitely worth the read. Okay, so the 9th book in this list is called True Blood. So the True Blood is an entire series, and I can't stop raving about this series. If you like some supernatural creatures, vampires, werewolves, and witches thrown into the mix, and even fairies for that matter, you should definitely pick this book. This is a book where supernatural creatures interact with each other, with humans, and there is romance brewing between them. Suki Stackhouse is the main character. Though she is a human, she has a disability and she is a telepath. But then she ends up falling in love with Bill, who's a vampire. And into the mix come Eric and other vampires for that matter. But this is what this entire plot of the book is. So do check out the complete review of that. I'll be linking that as well in the description box below. I've put a detailed review of that book if you'd like to check this out. But this series has about 13 books so far, and you should definitely check that out. Each and every book has a mix of romance, thriller, and a lot of supernatural stuff going on. So this entire series, I would rate it a 4.5 stars. So it is definitely a must read. So with this, we come to the final book of our romance compilation. So the last book in the series is called Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed. So this is not exactly a book that falls under the romance genre, but in this, Dear Sugar is a column where Cheryl Strayed worked as an agony aunt. A lot of people used to send in their letters just to hear her soothing words written back in the form of a letter in that column. So in that, you will find that people are actually going through various relationship problems, not just with their spouses, but also with other people in their lives. So this book will not only teach you to navigate your romantic relationships, but it will also help you understand yourself better and the people around you. The words that she has written are just so soothing and so calming. I think this is one of the best books I have read. So it's not a story as such. So each of these are a compilation of different letters, and of course the names are kept anonymous. So this is what the entire book is about. Do check this book out. You'll keep coming back to this book for more and more, because that is how much of relaxation this particular book offers. So with this, we're done with the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this. So this is shot from Jaipur, the pink city of India. So with that, yes, we are done with the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. Stay happy, stay blessed, stay kind. Bye. I made a separate book. I made a separate review on this book, and I made a separate